We just lay everything at your feet right now, God. We just lay it at your feet and say, here it is, here we are. And God, just guide and direct everything here and say, here we are, use us. And we thank you in the mighty name of Jesus. Amen. Hello, I'm Mark DeFrates, President, and along with my wife Irene, co-founder of Hands of Care International, otherwise known as HOCI. We bring medical and humanitarian aid into the remote areas along with the gospel, one truckload at a time. We work mainly in Kenya. That's where most of our work is done. We work throughout Kenya, all the way from the north down to the coast, down to Mombasa, and then east to west there. We're also in Tanzania, where we work there out of the Serengeti, and in the DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, back in the dense woods of DRC. And we say we go out and we deliver one truckload at a time, and what that entails is we have trucks. God's brought trucks to us, old military trucks, because we go into remote areas and we need those heavy-duty trucks to get into some of these areas, because we'll go through a lot of rough terrain, rivers, whatever the case may be. One of the things when we're moving in these trucks, they're not the fastest things, and they can be slow sometimes. So a lot of times it might take a 12-hour drive to get into where we're going into some of these remote areas, sometimes even longer. And so you just figure a day, sometimes it's a 2-day trip, a 2-day journey. And just to get into some of these areas, you get stuck. So we have long cables, 100-foot long cables, and sometimes we have to use them because we have to pull other trucks out. And so it can get challenging at times. And when we go, we take a team. We normally have a team of anywhere from 10 to 12 that go with us. And they can be, there'll be clinicians, there'll be nurses, pharmacy tech, even have a lab person that goes with us to do some lab work, because they'll draw blood and check different things. So when we go out, we're self-contained, because we have to have our own tents sometimes to stay in. We have to take all our own water or all of our own food, because there's really nothing there where we're going, and we just have to be self-contained. And so you have 10 to 12 people, and it's quite a bit of resources when you're moving around and logistical movement. But that's one of the things God just put on our plate, and that's what we do. And the people, most of the people who work with us, they're all local Kenyans, and they just love what they do. They really enjoy it. They're young, they're energetic, and they just love it. They love helping people, love getting the gospel out there. But they just all have fun doing it, and we're just seeing an incredible amount of fruit out of this. Mainly what we do in the medical stuff is we go into the areas and we work pretty much strictly with and through the local churches there. So we set it up with the pastors, and we actually go in the areas and we meet with the chiefs and the local medical officers and officials, and we get everything set up. But we do it through the local church because we want them to have the notoriety for doing these medical camps. And we're coming in with the medical because we're helping reach needs, because everywhere we go in the remote areas, it's where they pretty much, they either lack medical care or don't have medical care, so little to no medical care. And we're just meeting those needs. And the thing that I tell people and try and get across is a lot of people don't care who Jesus is until those needs are met. And so when you have people that are really sick, have diseases, bad infections and things like that, they're looking for care. And so we look at what Jesus did. When we look at what Jesus did in the Bible, what did he do? He took and he fed those that are hungry. So food to those who are hungry, water to those who are thirsty, healing to those who are sick, and even casting out of demons. And we see those things. And that's what we do when we go out there and we help the churches, the local churches. So when we come in, it creates a hunger and a thirst in people, because we are the salt of the earth. And that's part of that. That salt creates that thirst and hunger. And so when we do that, then people start questioning, well, why are you here? Why are you doing this? We say, well, we're here because we want to show you the love of Christ. And so then that just creates an inquisitive mind. And so then people actually come to church. So what it'll look like, we'll come in and do a medical camp on Friday and Saturday. And we'll see anywhere from 100 to 450 people on any one day. So we might see anywhere from 250 to 800 people in 2 days. And then we'll have the church and we'll speak on Sunday. And we'll notice that there will be a lot of new faces there because people are curious what's going on. Who's this Jesus that they've been talking about? And so that's how we work that through the medical camp. And God's really just grown that and built that and what we're doing to help it just develop the kingdom of Christ. And we're just really happy and glad to be a part of that. And while we're out there and we're doing our medical camps, sometimes you see the impossible turn possible because of God. And I remember one time they brought in a baby. She was convulsing, had a real high fever, over 104. And our doctors were very concerned because this was far along with the illness in this baby. But they brought her in, they got IVs into her, took care of her, and they brought her back. They stabilized her and brought her back. And you see things like that. But you also realize not only did their professionalism stand out and you see how they work, but God was also there in this whole picture the whole time. And people would notice that. And so you see those things. And it just, again, it just energizes you to keep going, because sometimes when we do this, you're out there for a lot of hours. If you see 400 people in a day, you've seen a lot of people and you've helped a lot of people. And you get up the next day and you do it all over again. But seeing those cases like that and how they turn out, and most of the time we'll see at least one, but sometimes 2 to 3 times each camp we'll see cases like that where someone's so close, 2-3 days away from passing away, and our staff is able to help and re-energize that person and get them on the road to recovery and healing. And then they have an encounter with God along the way. And it's just incredible to see that. Some of the other things that we deal with, there's what we call a Jigger Campaign. And we work there, we go into certain areas that jiggers are prominent. And jiggers are a sand flea, and they burrow themselves into the feet of people. And so we go in, again, with medical professionals, and we actually dig them out with scalpels, and we dig them out of their feet. And that's how you get them on the road to recovery. And once we're done with that, we do all the care that needs to be done there. And we also take in or bring in shoes that we help with the children, and actually adults too. With the shoes, we give out shoes once we're done with the treatment to help them keep their feet out of the dirt so they don't get any more. And so that's actually a big campaign that we do, usually done in schools and sometimes in some of the villages that are prone to that, to those sand fleas in those areas. Also, we have been setting up churches. We've actually been erecting small buildings for churches, and these are always, again, in remote areas. And what this looks like, we'll go in and we'll put up a metal structure with sheet metal, and we'll develop that, and then it's used for a multi-purpose room is what we'd say here. But not only is it used for church, but it's also used for school. It's used for the people in the area to come together in their community and work together and meet. And it just provides a place where people can come and discuss things and what's going on in life. And actually what we've seen is what happens in these areas, or people are actually moving back to these areas because this has been built. And it's actually creating life. And that's God, because God creates life. Because when we become born again, we become a new person. And that's what this is all about. So along with putting up these churches or the buildings and these structures there, when we do that, they also have to have pastors there to take care of the people. So we're also helping right now paying salaries of the pastors in 2 of the places, 2 of the areas. We're not sure how many more we're going to build, but we know that's part of what's on our horizon, and we're going to keep doing that because we're seeing really good fruit out of all this. While we're out doing our medical camps, we also do water filtration in certain areas, because some of the areas, the only water that they get is through streams, but they're very contaminated. And so they have to get their water out of there, and they can bring them back. And through these water filtration systems, they can just filter their water through there and get clean drinking water that way. So that's one of the other things that we do while we're doing our medical camps. And that's also been a huge help, and seeing a lot of fruit out of that also. And some of the other things that we do, we have a small children's home. We'll have, mainly we work with girls, but it'll be girls that are, they've had issues. There might be some sexual improprieties or some brutality, different things like that. So we're able to bring them in, and we work with them. We put them in school. So what that might look like is we care for them. We give them a place to live, a safe place to live, and we put them in schools, and then they have medical care and clothing and everything like that. So we supply all that. And the numbers are constantly changing, but we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 kids most of the time. Right now we have a couple boys. Here at HOCI, we like to have people come along with us on ministry trips or mission trips. So we offer short-term trips, and there are some long-term trips. But we like to open that up to people that have medical skills, people that have skills that they can work with children, people that have building skills, welding, any of the trades like that, because of some of the metal buildings that we do put up, and also being able to work on our military trucks and some of our other vehicles. So anything like that we're looking for, but mainly we're looking for people, you have to be born again, that's number one, and then just having a heart to go out and help people and do something. Because again, they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, and that's what opens that door. And so I just like to also say that, hey, it takes money. We're a ministry, and it takes money to do all these things. It's a lot of money to get these trucks down the road into these remote areas, the repairs that we need to do, the fuel, the medicine that we take out. We normally take out more medicine and things to do with the medical apparatus of all that than some of the hospitals actually have in their store shelves. We just take a lot with us. Again, we're looking for donors. It can be a church, it can be a corporate, individuals, it can be a one-time, it can be monthly, it can be annually, whatever you feel comfortable giving. If you're led to do that, come on board and help us out. And we're in desperate need of prayer intercessors, prayer warriors. We definitely need that. It's just something that we really run with those people behind us, because we get so busy, it's hard to just spend time in prayer a lot of times, because we wake up early in the mornings and we roll till at night sometime. And we just need that. So if you're into that and you feel a calling that you're led to do that, give me a call, and we'd love to talk to you about that. So I'd just like to say thank you for spending some time with us here and just learning about what we do here at Hands of Care International. We really appreciate you, and we just like to say, hey, if you want to know a little bit more what's going on and see what God's doing through Hands of Care International, and just grab a front row seat to see what he really is doing. Come along with us for the ride. It's a great ride. We're seeing a lot of good fruit, and we appreciate you, and God bless.